Tyre Nichols loved sunsets. He loved skateboarding. He loved his mother. But on January 7, 2023, a routine traffic stop turned into a nightmare that would end his life and ignite a national outcry. At approximately 8:21 p.m., Tyre was pulled over by Memphis police officers for alleged reckless driving. What should have been a standard procedure escalated rapidly. Officers approached his vehicle with aggression, shouting commands. Tyre, confused and frightened, attempted to comply but was forcibly removed from his car. Surveillance footage shows Tyre running, followed by officers. Tyre fled on foot, seeking safety. He was unarmed, posing no threat. Officers caught up with him near his mother's home. What followed was a brutal assault captured on body cameras and surveillance footage. He was punched, kicked, and struck with a baton while restrained. Tyre cried out for his mother as the beating continued. 3 days later, Tyre succumbed to his injuries. The autopsy revealed extensive bleeding caused by a severe beating. The cause of death was ruled as homicide due to blunt force trauma. The release of the footage sparked nationwide protests. 5 officers were fired and later charged with second-degree murder, among other offenses. 2 officers pled guilty to federal charges, while 3 others were convicted of federal felonies related to Tyre's death. However, in a state trial, these 3 were acquitted of all charges, leading to further public outrage. The officers involved were part of the Scorpion Unit, a specialized team aimed at reducing crime but criticized for aggressive tactics. Following Tyre's death, the unit was disbanded. A Department of Justice investigation found that the Memphis Police Department routinely used excessive force and discriminated against black residents. Tyre Nichols' story is a stark reminder of the urgent need for police reform. His life, full of promise, was unjustly taken. We must remember his name and continue the fight for justice. When the video of Tyre Nichols' beating was released, the nation gasped. 5 white officers, members of a so-called elite crime suppression unit, captured on Bodycam as they pummeled a young man crying for his mother. But the story didn't end on that Memphis street. It was only the beginning. People flooded the streets. Not just in Memphis but nationwide. Marches, vigils, and speeches followed, as the country once again demanded an end to police brutality and accountability for a life stolen too soon. Protester. It doesn't matter what badge they wear, this is about power unchecked. And Tyre paid the price. Within days, all 5 officers were fired. And then came the charges: second-degree murder, aggravated assault, kidnapping, misconduct. For a moment, it felt like justice might be served. But more than a year later, the courtroom would tell a different story. In a stunning turn, 3 of the officers, Desmond Mills Jr., Emmett Martin III, and Justin Smith, pleaded not guilty. Despite harrowing footage and a medical examiner's report labeling Tyre's death a homicide, a jury acquitted them on all state charges. The verdict has shocked and angered community members across the country. 2 officers did plead guilty to federal charges, but the outcome of the state trial raised painful questions. How much is a black life worth in the eyes of the law? Following the tragedy, the Department of Justice launched an investigation into the Memphis Police Department. What they found was deeply disturbing: a pattern of excessive force, discrimination against black citizens, and a culture of impunity. The Scorpion Unit, designed to reduce crime, was disbanded. But for many it was too little, too late. Tyre's family is now suing the city of Memphis and its police department for $550 million. They're not just seeking compensation, they're demanding accountability. Tyre's mother: my son was murdered. I want the world to know who he was, not just how he died. Tyre was more than a victim. He was a creative soul, a devoted son, and a young man trying to live his life in peace. His death became a symbol, but his life was a light. His story has sparked calls for new laws, renewed pressure on police reform, and inspired a generation unwilling to accept silence in the face of injustice. Justice wasn't served, but his name, his truth, won't be forgotten. Tyre Nichols, 1993 to 2023. He loved sunsets. Now his story helps shine a light. Tyre Nichols didn't deserve to die that night. He wasn't armed. He wasn't violent. He was simply trying to get home. So ask yourself, why did 5 officers, all trained to protect, turn into executioners? Would this have happened if Tyre Nichols were white? What does justice really look like when the system itself is broken? And how many more names must we say before something truly changes? This isn't just Tyre's story. It's America's reckoning. So, what are you going to do about it? Subscribe to Echoes of Crime, because some stories demand to be heard.